asylum seekers' documentations have expired, and they are unable to gain access to social services. They are unable to gain access to their bank accounts. In fact, so much so, and that's why I called it a humanitarian crisis yesterday, right? When I stood in for you, so much so that they are unable to gain access to the deceased because they don't have any documents. So the Department of Home Affairs has assured these immigrants and these asylum seekers that don't worry, you can continue with your expired documents for now. But what's happening, and that's where the catch-22 situation comes in. The Durban Metro Police and the Durban SAPs are actually assaulting and they're arresting these immigrants, these asylum seekers, for walking around with expired documents. So what Daniel told me yesterday, that we are trying to explain to these officials, these police officials, that look, we have received confirmation from the department that we can continue with these expired documents for now. But because of miscommunication, or in fact no communication whatsoever between the Department of Home Affairs and Durban SAPs and Durban Metro Police, the assault and the ongoing arrests are continuing. So the entire discussion with Daniel was focused on that. But today, when we speak to Yasmin Raja at 9:35, the focus is going to be primarily at the children of these immigrants and these refugees and asylum seekers, and how they are unable to gain admissions because of expired documentation.
Well, shukran for that. Certainly looking forward to that discussion. And Jazakallah, as always, Mohammed, for your time. But we're going across now to be joined by Yussuf Adam, who is an analyst and a historian looking at the ongoing problems in Mozambique's CaboDelgado. Yussuf, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome.
Wa alaikum salam. Alhamdulillah, thank you.
Yes. Yussuf, obviously this situation in CaboDelgado going on for a very long time right now, for a number of years. And the situation is becoming very, very desperate. And to the extent where now even we see the United Nations calling for urgent measures to protect civilians, because we've learned that more than 50 people were beheaded in the last few days.
Okay, look, let me be... I came back from CaboDelgado a week ago. I've been 15 days there, and I've been following every day what's going on. This story about these 50 people which were beheaded in the village of Muatid, in the football field, where they were performing some rites of the initiation, their initiation, does not hold water. Okay. I have five or six versions of what happened. I don't know why people are trying to create, even Voice of America said that they confirmed it, and I haven't been able to confirm. I have 5, 6 versions. In one, they say there were 5 people killed. In another version, 25, etc. So I'll hope when I'm again in the field, and if I can travel to Muatid, I will check. So what I want to say is that it is grave. It could be 50 or 5 or 6. Every day we have news of people which are killed, which are beheaded or are shot in their heads. 2 days ago, Imam, a sheikh, an imam, and a trader in the village of Nangat. His local name is Mkoriko. He was shot by armed men, and people who gave the news suppose that it was they were dressed in military fatigues like soldiers, and they think this man was killed by soldiers. When I was in CaboDelgado, I did speak to some nuns which told me about 2 priests who were walking on the road and were taken, an army car took them and they were hit, they were tortured, and then left go. But Bishop Lisboa, who does a very good job of denunciation of human rights abuses, but others, there are also Muslim imams like Eduardo Cleta Carrillo, who uses the name of Muzammil, and others, even the head of the the mosque in Pemba, they all speak about and try to intervene when we have violation of human rights. So when you have war, everyone is to blame, and especially us, because we don't have the capacity to stop this. This makes me remember the words of Imam Ismail in the day that Mandela took power. I hope you remember.
Yes.
He said, look, God, we have to ask you pardon that we were not capable of solving the issue of apartheid without bloodshed. And this is the phrase that we all Muslims should remember, and we should work every day to stop this war, because mainly at this moment you can have mainly Muslim populations, and I interviewed a lot of those IDPs, internally displaced persons. They have had to leave their lands, and they are living as refugees, as not refugees, as internal displaced persons. And they told me, look, in my place, I had my coconut trees, I had my animals, I had my farm. Now I am a epota. Epota in Kimwani means I'm a slave. I was a landowner, now I don't even have land. And I don't know if I can go back sometime to my place. And all these people spoke about some kind of a genocide, saying, look, they are not killing us, shooting us, but they are killing us profoundly, because they're taking everything which we have. They're taking our land, they're taking our history, they're taking the places where we have our mosque, where we have our people who have been buried. So it is not only something which affects Muslim communities. Most of the Kimwanis are Muslims, but also there are Christian communities, etc., who have been affected seriously. So what we have to do is a strong campaign in the region, civil society, in every mosque, in every madrasa, and stop this war. Okay, we're sending food. At my house, my wife comes from her job and makes masks for COVID masks, and then she gathers money which sends to some cousins in Pemba who buy food and cook and give food to the refugees which come by boat. At this moment, we have two main ways where the IDPs are coming. There are a lot of IDPs coming from the coast by boat, by dhow, to Pemba. When I was there, the last count was about 15,000. And it was a drama. People had left with their things, goats, etc. Some people had come in boats without having money to pay, so they had to stay in the boat till someone came to pay their ticket and take them out. I saw a Muslim lady from Pemba giving food to 700 people every day. Then when she left, another lady came with the food she cooked at her house, and a lot of these people had not even had water for 3 days. They had been drinking salty water. So organizations like you in South Africa have a very good Muslim NGO, which is the name is the Help of the Helpers.
Gift of the Givers.
No, I don't know the name. Yeah, the Gift of the Givers. And I think they should come to the field and help organize this. It's not only for this population. At this moment, you have also another huge amount of people which are living in Mueda, in the Makonde Plateau, because of the war, and they are from all the religious denominations, all the ethnic groups, and they are walking about 300-400 kilometers from Moeda, which is at 900 meters of altitude, and walking towards Montepuez. And then when they arrive in Montepuez, if they have someone from the family to help, yes, or they just sit in the bus stop to see what they can be done. So it's a huge amount of movement of people which is occurring, and the cause is war. And this war has to be stopped. You know, it's no use to be speaking about SADC, the Muslim solidarity, the Christian solidarity, whatever. We have to stop it rapidly. You know, no one should die because of the petrol and gas or some kind of political dissension difference between people. This is, in fact, what I can tell you. And then in this situation, generally, there is also a bit of Islamophobia, and as these groups present themselves as Al-Shabaab, we call them Mashababus, but they are local people. Then always we have also news of presence of people from ISIS, but we don't have evidence. The evidence we have is that they get money, and probably the money they get, you in South Africa, South African institutions should know better the amount of the value of drug which comes from India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, in Iran, in Laos, and they come up to Nakala, and they go Durban or any good port, and then they are sent to Europe. But a lot is also consumed locally. Probably the total amount of this business is 300 million euros a year. And these Mashababus pocket about 30 million euros a year. And probably they use for their war 12 million euros. And everyone is involved, different services, etc. Because if I work for a certain, I direct a security service, I'm sure I want someone infiltrated into this business, because I can also make some money to offset my costs, and I can be inside the enemy and understand that. So we need to see this complexity, and we have to work as rapidly as possible to stop the war. And South Africa was, in a way, involved. There were about 10 kids which were left South Africa and went to fight with these jihadists. And I don't have their names, but I'm sure you find them. They died, they were killed. And there are other groups involved in this monkey business, which has to be. And the other thing which is very, very important, as you are Islamic radio, is to call the attention that who will judge us is Allah. It's not some of these, big-birded oaks who think that because they were trained in Saudi Arabia or in Pakistan or etc., and they can tell us what has to be done. I think we should be much more humble and accept that there are so many different ways of practicing Islam. I'm not going to tell an Ismaili that he's not a Muslim, or I'm not going to tell the members of the Taruk that the Shaduliya, the Qadiriya, etc., that they are not Muslims. That's their way of practicing Islam, and they have been practicing Islam for the last 500 years, in Mozambique at least. So I would like very much for us of all to be open and to talk to each other and promote peace. And the words, the catchword should be peace and take care of everyone.
Well, Brother Yussuf, Jazakallah so much for that and for your time. And, I had so many questions, but I think you've covered all of them just so
You're
well
welcome.
in the last few minutes.
You're welcome.
And inshallah, we look forward to talking to you again, inshallah. But I think, like you mentioned, the key question here is there is a huge humanitarian crisis that requires urgent attention at this point in time. And you have highlighted that. And I'm sure that, many people and organizations will take heed from this appeal that you have made.
Yeah, but can I come back to that? There was an old man last week who was speaking to the president of Mozambique, President Nyusi, in the southern part of CaboDelgado. And the president said, "Oh, we will bring the help. We're organizing help. You're going to be taken care of." And this old man got up and said, "Look," which is totally in his head. He said, "Look, we don't need help. Go and finish this war. What we want is that you end this war." And that is what we have to do, because, aid has also its problems and creates certain things. So we should go on, and I'm ready to talk to you anytime you feel it is important.
Well, Jazakallah for that and for your time with us this morning. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam.
It was Yussuf Adam, analyst and a historian, who joined us this morning, just giving us an overview on CaboDelgado and the humanitarian crisis.
Discover the Africa of your dreams and surround yourself with her spectacular beauty. Relax beneath her serene sunsets and explore wildlife at its natural best.